Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, August 17. It is 6:26 right now. Sorry, getting on a little late today. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis. So I've got a couple of things here to update. And we should be good to go. So, this one sent out to you guys here in the premium. Hey guys, morning everybody. Sorry for the late start. So I had some technical issues today. So I'm just going and get everything set up real quick as we get started. 6:28 right now. Today's Thursday, August 17. I'm gonna go ahead and start market liquidity here because market is about to open pretty shortly. So let me go ahead and start marking that up real quick. Color this blue. All right. I'm just going to mark up the close levels because obviously higher levels are kind of irrelevant, especially when it's so far away. Go down to the 8-hour. Wow. Two-hour. One hour. $30-minute. All right, guys, market is now open. There's like one close level of liquidity right there that might get hit. Up top, I think it's a 1 hour. 15. 10. And I think we're good. All right, so there's one level of liquidity that's getting close right here. It's the 1 hour liquidity. Price looks a little high though from where it's currently at. I want to be a little careful with the entry there. Let me check retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 60% short, so I'm personally going to stay away from this one right here. If you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free. But I'm just looking at this here. It's not very. There's not very much of a strong bias. Let me take a look at sentiment over here real quick. Sentiment's a little bullish, so I just got hit right there. If you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. There goes the liquidity right there. I didn't want to take it. It didn't look strong enough for me to want to take. You can see it literally went straight to CP and then it pulled back very hard. Main reason is for me not wanting to take it is because there's not very much of a strong bias for a buy there, right? We looked over here at retail sentiment, it was 60% short. If it was like 70% short, maybe I would take it. Fundamentals here were kind of bullish. They're not very high, but they are bullish. But I mean, for the most part, it just didn't look strong enough for me to want to take. Also looking over here at the technicals, the short-term time frames were actually not that strong. You can see over here that the short-term time frames were a little they're actually pretty weak in my opinion, with regard to the lower time frame. So 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute are basically bullish neutral, but not very strong. And then the higher time frames over here are still pretty neutral. So price is pushing back up. I mean, if price pushes back up a second time for a retest or a third retest, then it may push up higher. But I think, as of now, I'm just going to hold off on it for my personal opinion, because I just don't feel like it's too safe to take. ATR right now is currently 15. It's not super strong. I mean, it's decent, but it's not very high. So there goes the liquidity. I'd probably look for it to maybe retest a little bit or maybe consolidate around this area and then come back for the retest. But yeah, if you guys took it, it went straight to TP already. That was the 1 hour liquidity right here. I believe it was 1 hour. Yeah, it was 1 hour liquidity. That got hit right there. So you can see price is kind of choppy right here. It's kind of bouncing around a bit. So might want to be a little careful with taking any entries right now, specifically at least until the market is kind of stabilized a bit. The ATR was kind of low. So let me see, the ATR on the previous candle over here was, I mean, it's been 15, it's been like 14, 15. It went from 12 to 14 to 15, and it's kind of just bouncing around this area. So let me check the news real quick and I'll see if there's anything here. Let me see what's here so far. Nice. So it looks like Maddie caught it on Tradeovate, caught up some slippage. Oscar caught it, Shiv caught it. Kenneth caught it, close half of his contracts. Nice. So it looks like a lot of you guys here caught that liquidity. I mean, it's still in profit. So if you guys are still in the position, you guys can still pull out if you like. But you can see that it's not a very strong push. It didn't really like push directly through. Kind of pushed, then it kind of sat for a bit, and then there you go, as it pushes through. So as I mentioned earlier, if it went for a second touch, which it did on the second candle, you could have re-entered late, or you could have taken a late entry, because I was expecting liquidity to actually be sitting a bit higher, not necessarily right in that specific area right here, but a bit higher above this area. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys did it, it's completely fine. I didn't take it, so there's no official entry there. It's just a liquidity push that, whoever wanted to take. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Dan. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Karen. Morning, Kenny. Morning, James. Morning, Randy. Morning, CJ. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Van Harway. Morning, CJ. Morning, Casey. Morning, Johnny. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Looks like we're off to a pretty decent start for today. If you guys took the liquidity right here, I mean, either way, if you took it early, if you took it late, there would have been a full TP either way. First time here, it hit, kind of pulled back a little bit. Second retest over here, it pushed right through, and then it hit again for a second time. Other than that, not really much else to look at right here. So let me go ahead and take a look at the main chart. So here's our main chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the news for today. Let me check if there was news this morning. So there was news this morning at 5:30. It was high impact news. So we had initial job claims, jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, all high level, all negative for the most part. So news over here at 5:30, and we have news at 7. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up news over here at 5:30. Obviously, you can see it's the big candle right here. It's a news candle right there. We have news coming up at 7 o'clock, which is CB leading index, kind of low. And then we have gas news over here at 7:30. So we had news at 7, news at 7:30, both low impact, but we'll still keep an eye out on it. And also I'm going to mark up opening price, which was right there. All right, so I'm sticking to my game plan, guys. Like I talked about yesterday and how I've been talking about. I'm sticking to my game plan and taking the Momentum pullback scalps. You know, if I see a really good liquidity, I'll take it. But today I just didn't see that. So that's why I didn't take that liquidity push. And I'm just going to stay, you know, patient and disciplined. I think the real key is really being patient and disciplined, right? A lot of you guys agree with that, you know, all strategies pretty much work. It's just being disciplined and following that strategy and sticking under the game plan that you chose to stick with, you know, at the beginning of the session, the week, the year, whenever you started to trade. So since we don't have anything right here, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up the levels. I like marking up the levels because it helps me understand how price is actually moving, right? So you can see that the levels here are, I mean, they're a little spread out, so they're not necessarily, I mean, the volatility is not the highest. It's decent, but it's not the best. Right, so ATR right now is currently 19, so it's actually moving pretty decent now. It's starting to pick up a little more, but you can see that there's not really much direction here. If you look closely, there's not any real direction. I mean, there's direction, but it's not very strong. Price is kind of just bouncing back and forth from where it's currently at. So let's see this momentum signal over here. Let me see if this momentum has been used already. So price kind of pushed up right here, it retraced, filled right there, and it hit. All right, so momentum here has actually been used already. There's a buy signal, price is bullish, price pushed up right here. We had a red candle right here, retrace. Entry would have been right here at this level. So this momentum has already been used. In order for us to take another one here, we need to look for price to retrace down with the sell signal and then provide a buy signal for a continuation to the upside. Once we get that, we can start looking for another buy. Yeah, exactly. Dijon said consolidation on open is wild. Yeah, it doesn't usually happen very often. I mean, never really happens because the volatility is supposed to be pretty high, right? So it's some pretty strong consolidation right there. I'm gonna go ahead and mark up structure here so that you guys can see where the consolidation is, you know, kind of happening. So we'll have to adjust that lower level, but as you guys can see, there's not really too much going on here. I mean, at all. Prices, it's consolidating on open, which is very crazy. You don't really see that ever, to be honest. You'll probably see a big range, but not really consolidation like this. If you measure this, it's only moving 200 pips. This is like, it's crazy for consolidation on open. Typically, this is where the volatility is the highest. And right now it's just going sideways, and market's only been open for 10 minutes. So I mean, it is what it is. We'll have to work with it, but it's a sign to stay away from the market right now. That's why I like drawing these lines here. So I'm gonna mark up today's overall bias. So let's see, retail sentiment is bullish. It's 60% short, or I'll put neutral bullish. It's not too strong, neutral bullish. Fundamentals are, we're going to say neutral bullish as well because they're not very strong. I'll put plus 90 points because price keeps bouncing around that area. Short-term technicals, long-term technicals. All right, let's take a look at the technicals real quick. So looking over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10-minute time frame, we'll just say it's bullish right now. We're just going to assume it's bullish because price is above the pivots, trend mirror is green, pivots are angling up. Short-term technicals are bullish for the most part. Looking over here at the long-term technicals are actually bearish. You can see prices in between over here on the 30, but it's below on the 1 hour and below on the 4 hour. Trend meters red across the board. So with that said, we'll say bullish here for short-term. Long-term, we'll put bearish. This is probably going to shift soon. The short-term technicals change pretty quickly, so it's probably going to go back to neutral if price comes back below the pivots. So with that said, we currently have a retail sentiment of 60%, neutral bullish, fundamental bias, which is neutral bullish as well, 90 points in the green. Short-term technicals are bullish and the long-term technicals are bearish. So we have a mixed bias today. It's more of a neutral bias overall. Let's see, Oscar said is overall bearish, overall bias, bearish, neutral. It's kind of mixed right now, Oscar. So, I mean, it can bounce between bearish neutral and bullish neutral, because if price comes below here, then the short term is going to be back to bearish, right? It's currently bullish right now, but it's not very strong. You can see the 1 minute over here is trying to come back below the pivot. So if that becomes the case and this becomes neutral or bearish neutral, then yeah, it's going to swing down to bearish neutral because the long-term technicals here are strong bearish. So there's not really much of a bias right now. I would just say it's neutral at the moment. I wouldn't say it's bullish neutral or bearish neutral because things can change pretty quickly. You know, if price comes down kind of heavy, which you've seen before, price kind of sometimes just spikes down for whatever reason. And then, you know, you got to switch this up pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens. Maddie here said that sentiment just adjusted. So sentiment is now at 62% short. As you can see, a lot more retail traders are starting to catch the top. So if that's the case, I think price will continue climbing, which is completely fine. I don't care. Price can climb if it wants. We all don't care, right? We just want to make sure that we'll have best possible opportunity for entry when it comes down to that point. But right now, we just don't have that. So again, we're just going to wait, be patient, and wait for some possibility here for entry. But right now, the volatility is kind of just going back and forth still. So you can see over here that price broke above that high. This here could be a fake out. So just keep that in mind. This doesn't necessarily need to actually break and continue pushing, right? This can just fake out right there and then come right back into the range. And that's exactly what's happening right here. So it can fake out in both directions. So there's no need to really force anything right now, guys. Just be patient, wait for the market to really tell you or give you what you're looking for. And then once you get that, you can hop into a trade. So price is pushing back up. That's great. That's exactly what we need. We need price to push away from this consolidation right here, right? Because it just stays within this area. But what we need to confirm is that price is actually going to continue. Like we need price to push up and then continue climbing. Because if it doesn't, then it's just going to push up a little bit like it did right here and then come back down into the range, right? And that's exactly what's happening right here. Look where that fake out's happening on the clean chart. Pretty much fake out right here where price is having trouble getting past this area. I mean, there's not really too much going on here. You guys can see the price has not been able to close past this high over here. So I'm not going to adjust the structure here until price actually confirms. But you can see that this structure here is still the same area where it's been sitting. Surprisingly, not too much volatility this morning. I was expecting a lot more because of the news. So the news this morning, let me look at Forex Factory actually. So looking at the news over here at Forex Factory, the unemployment claims was, I mean, it's pretty neutral. It wasn't actually that strong. It was more on the neutral side, but price did push up. So Philly manufacturing index is bullish. Unemployment claims was neutral, but you can see over here from the news. So this is a news price right here. Price actually pushed up a lot. So from down here up until here, price pushed up 1,500 pips. I mean, it didn't push up directly, but it pushed up directly from here, right? So it pushed up right here about 700 pips, retraced, consolidated a little bit, and then shot up. So it's due for retracement. That's exactly what's happening right here. Here goes a retracement. I mean, the volatility is still very low for open. So ATR is only at 20 right now. Typically, it's like at 25, maybe close to 30, but right now it's very slow. So we do have the sell signal right here. The trend is still bullish, so we can get the swing back to the upside. But yeah, at the moment, if this swings down further, then that's fine. We'll start looking for sells. But at the moment, you know, we still have a bullish bias here. Mainly looking over here at the pivots. The red pivot down below is above all the other ones, or it's below the other ones that are above. So as long as the red pivot's below all the other pivots, we still have a bullish trend. Just keep that in mind. We need that sell signal though. So I want that sell signal to actually close because then we can confirm the retracement. And if we get a buy signal in the other direction, we can start looking for a buy there. But signal never closed. We'll see if this here closes. But again, it's just a waiting game. We also have news over here at 7 o'clock, so we want to be a little careful. You can see it's low impact CD leading index month over month. It's a low impact folder right here. Also natural gas storage at 7:30, also low impact. So not exactly something to really worry about, but we should keep an eye on it just in case. So if it gets too close, probably not going to take an entry because it's going to mess with movement. It probably won't spike price, but I still wouldn't want to be in a position where it can be easily manipulated based off news. 6:46 right now. We got about 14 minutes till news. So I'm hoping we get some direction here. If we don't get any direction, we got to wait for the news to pass. Right here, I'm fine with this being an invalid sell signal. I actually prefer it to be an invalid sell signal. So if we get that buy signal, it's going to be easier to push to the upside. All right, so no momentum there. Another momentum here. You can see the volatility starting to die down a little bit. It's currently sitting at opening price. So opening price is right here. You can see that price is trying to fake out again at this place. So price faked out above over here, like I mentioned. Price came back down to the lower level, another fake out right there. And then we'll see if price ends up pulling back into this area or if it drops below and continues dropping, right? I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities. There's too many scenarios that can play out. So I'm not really looking to take anything at the moment. Obviously, I need to wait for some sort of confirmation here. Looks like price is just sitting a little flat. What might happen here is price may just be flat for the next couple of minutes until we get to news. However, it's not really what I'm looking for. I want price to actually push away from where it's currently at. See, Rashida sent her markup right here. Yeah, Rashida said it's really just sitting flat. It's not really doing anything. It's sitting flat right here in this area, and it's just going sideways for the most part. And that was on Rashida's 1 hour chart. So it's been flat for a while now, not just on the 1 minute, but on even her 1 hour chart. It's not really doing anything. So thanks for that markup, Rashida. I mean, it's good to see when you see other traders analysis line up with yours, right? If I'm saying it's flat, Rashida's saying it's flat, it's probably flat. So no need to force anything right now, guys. Just wait for some sort of direction. 6:48 right now. We might have to wait for news to pass. But it's not really going to make a difference. It's low impact news. So we'll probably wait for the news to pass. Once it hits, then hopefully we'll get some more movement. But the ATR is starting to die down a little bit. So you can see the volatility is pretty low. It's really early in the session, so the volatility should be a lot higher, but I'm like at least 22, usually around 25. But it's below 20 right now, which is it's not really a good sign for the most part. We got some profits over here from Kenny. Kenny took the breakout, or not break. He took the liquidity push this morning. So total profit 1,920 for the day. Great work, Kenny. So solid profits right there. We have Shiv over here as well. So Shiv also took that buy, total profit over here on his account, 792 for the day. So 792 for the day, all wins. Great work right there, Shiv. And a total profit of 11,040 on his account from 2 days ago, from this week, basically August 15th up until the 17th. So amazing work right there. Shiv said nearly past the challenge. Yeah, you're almost there, man. Let's keep it up, bro. You're almost there. You need like 1 or 2 more trades and you're solid. So great work right there, Shiv. Other than that, I think that's about it. We got Patricia over here. So Patricia locked in 1,320 for the day, all wins. And then we have Patricia over here on her other accounts. Total profit of 1,400 on the first account, 1,450 on the second account, and a total profit of 1,195 on her third account. Great work, Patricia. So solid work right there across all of Patricia's accounts. We have Maddie over here. Total profit of 105 on his first account and 105 on his second account for both of the liquidity pushes earlier this morning. So nice work right there, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said he got some slippage, but it's all good. He's still locked in some pretty good profit. So solid profit so far, guys. As you guys can see, the people who took this trade right here for the liquidity push already made their profits. I mean, we're still waiting for our opportunity to take entries here, but it just has not come yet. So we're looking for that retracement. Once we get that retracement, then we're going to look for the continuation, consolidation, and then push to the upside. But we just don't have that yet. I don't really care which direction price goes. Price can go up, price can go down. It doesn't really matter to me. We just need to have some sort of confirmation. So the main thing we're looking for is a sell signal. If we get that sell signal, we can either start looking for a sell or we can look for the correction back to the upside. But it doesn't really matter to me. Price can go in either direction. Volatility here is starting to pick up a little more. It's back to 20. I'm hoping it stays at that point. If not, it's fine. But you know, the higher the volatility, the better. This is normal for summer conditions, so there's not really too much to worry about here, guys. this isn't it's not very unusual. It's unusual, but it's not very unusual. So it's unusual to see a lot of consolidation on open, but we are in the summer market. So summer market is very unpredictable. You don't know which market makers are in the market right now, who's playing. It's not a full market right now. So that's why the volatility here is super low. And you can see there's no direction here, right? Because if the market makers were in the market or institutions were playing right now, like if everybody was playing in the market, you'd see a lot of movement here. You'd see a lot of back and forth movement, like at least some real movement, not like 200 points or 200 pips. You'll see like, at least a 500 pip range. So if you measure this range over here, like this first range is only like 300 pips. That's nothing, right? That's like no movement at all. And then price is now below here as we anticipate news, and it's like less than 200 pips. So it's not unusual, but it's not very unusual, but it is a little unusual because typically opening market is like usually where people play, right? So when market makers and institutions play, you get the most volatility on open and then middle session and then the very end, but not typically like after the first hour. Usually we'll get some movement until 7 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock market dies down like this. I'm hoping he does the opposite today. I'm hoping it's dead right now, and then 7 o'clock it picks up so that we can start looking for a possible entry. Yeah, Maddie said still haven't gotten that sell signal yet. He'll look for entry after news. Yeah, same here, Maddie. 652 right now. We have a sell signal. There's still no confirmation of trend, so it's fine. We'll see what happens here. So the main thing to look for here now, guys, we do have our sell signal. The next thing to look for is going to look for whether this red pivot crosses all the other pivots. So if all the other pivots cross below the red pivot, then the trend is going to shift to a sell. If that doesn't happen and the red pivot stays below all the other pivots, then we're still in a bullish trend. So with that said, we got to wait for some better confirmation here before we start looking for entry. Wouldn't really matter because we have news right here anyways in the next couple minutes. So I'll probably wait for news to pass, and then hopefully we'll get an entry between here and 7:30, because at 7:30 we have more news. This is gas news over here, so I don't think it's going to affect it too much, but we've kind of gotten burnt with the gas news sometime in the past. So we still want to keep that in mind. All right, so there's not really much to look at here. We'll keep looking for any changes. Let me take a look at sentiment. Sentiment is currently at 63% short, so there's still more sellers climbing over here for retail sentiment. Looking over here at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently 52 points, so they're straight up neutral now. Neutral fundamental bias. Short-term technicals, let's take a look again. So short-term technicals are now neutral bearish, kind of similar to what we were talking about earlier. So they're just, I'll set it to neutral now. And long-term technicals are still bearish. They've been bearish pretty much for a while now. So leave them as is. Bearish neutral for the most part. So, all right, if you look over here at today's overall bias, it's more neutral than it was before. Earlier, it was neutral bullish. Now it's neutral because it's kind of mixed. Retail sentiment's not enough to pretty much carry over long-term technicals, which is still very bearish. So if price continues to drop, great. We still need to get a better confirmation of trend. So the trend here still has not confirmed. You can see the trend meter down below is turning blue and red. So it's kind of shifting around a little bit. Not super strong, but it is shifting around a little bit. The pivots over here have not confirmed yet. So we'll see if this ends up. Let me check the news again. So what news is coming out? Let me see. CD leading index. Yeah, so you can see over here. So this index is designed to predict the direction of the economy, but it tends to have a muted impact because most of the indicators used in the calculation are released previously. So we already kind of know where price is going. They're forecasting it to be negative. Or actually, so the forecasting to be, negative, but not very negative, just like at 4%, negative 4%. So it's going to be pretty neutral. So if we do get an entry here or any opportunity for entry, I'll mark it up for you guys. I don't know if I'll take it. I'll let you guys know if I do take it, but we'll see. Because the pivots here still haven't shifted. You can see the pivots over here are currently, the red pivot's still in between everything. We got to make sure that this red pivot is below all the other pivots. So If we do have an opportunity, I'll mark it up for you guys. If anything, I'll let you guys know if I do decide to take it. I probably won't, because you can see the volatility starting to pick up here as we get closer to news. Even though it's low impact, it can still affect the market, one way or another. So until this pivot here is shifted above all the other pivots, then, and Maddie said the sentiment just shifted up. It's now 64%. So a lot of people started chasing that sell, and then it just faked out. Not really a crazy surprise there. So I mean, we'll see. So if we get a buy signal, that's fine. If we get a buy signal here, we still have a bullish trend at that point. So it doesn't really matter to us. We do have news coming up shortly though. All right, so you can see the red pivots below all the other pivots. We still have a possible buy here if price decides to swing up. I personally would prefer to take a buy because all the retail traders are on the sell side. So obviously I don't want to do the opposite and look for a buy here. So we'll see where it ends up coming to. Again, we do have news coming up shortly, so I'll be a little careful. With entry here, we do have news in about 3 minutes. So the main thing that we're looking for here is going to be the buy signal. Once we get that buy signal, we might be ready for a possible entry. All right, still no buy signal. I'm actually glad that there's no buy signal yet, because I don't want the buy signal to come before news over here. I kind of want price to consolidate right now, because if it happens right here, we might get an entry around news time, and it's going to mess with our entry, because I don't really want to take anything too risky here. So I want the buy signal to come after the news. We have 2 minutes till news. I just need this to kind of consolidate for a little bit. And then once it's done consolidating, we can hopefully look for entry. All right, so this is cool. If it's invalid, that's cool, because it's going to be so far below that it's going to have to climb up. So if we get that invalid signal, I need price to actually climb up here. So it would really make a difference for me. All right, we got a minute till news. I think we should be good. Exactly. Maddie said patience type of day today. He wants to buy after the news. Yeah, same here, Maddie. So we just got to wait, sit tight right here. Still no buy signal, which is fine. If we get a buy signal on the news candle, then that's fine too, because then we'll have some movement after that. But right now, just waiting for this here to pass. So we got about 27 seconds. If this pushes up, we'll probably get the buy signal. And that's fine. So you guys can see over here the fake out on the clean chart. Price came down, faked out, and then it just came right back up. I think we can establish this as the range now. Okay, so this is now the range. I'm gonna go and just adjust this, because this is the actual lower low. All right, so that's the actual range now. So price is just ranging between here. The midpoint is going to be opening price. So I forgot who always mentions this. There's someone in the group that always mentions this, that like price keeps dancing around like opening price, and that's exactly what's happening here. You can see it a little better now, because we are you can see it better now because I've adjusted the range here. So here's the our clean chart. As you guys can see, price just keeps faking out around the range area. So price comes up, fakes out, price comes down, fakes out, and it just keeps coming right back to opening price down the middle. So not really too much going on there. We have a pending buy signal right here. So exactly, yeah, Dejan said giving opening price some smooth loving. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we got the buy signal right here. It's a bit of a big candle though. It's definitely a bit of a big candle. So I need to get price to push away from where it's currently at. Because if not, price is probably going to just keep consolidating, or it's going to come in and retrace the size of the candle. The size of the candle right here is about 300 pips, kind of big. Not huge, but it is kind of big. ATR is currently 22 right now, so it's looking nice. What I need here is I need price to push away. So I need price to push away, maybe not to this area here. I need price to push away higher, retrace, and continue up from there. This is probably the lowest level I'll take entry at 40. Yeah, so lowest level I'll take entry will probably be at the 40 over here. But I think the 30 might be a little too, actually, we'll see. We'll see where price pushes up to, because I need price to just push away from where it's currently at. I can't have it consolidate around this area, because if it consolidates around this area, it's just going to fill the big candle, right? So I need price to actually push away from this area. I'll have to think about it. I can't really say for sure if I'm going to enter at the 30 or the 40. I'd like to enter around the 40 level. 30 level is kind of low for me. So what I kind of want to see here is I want price to push up, fill basically this high over here, basically establish a new higher high, come back and retrace, and then take entry from there. I like that, because if that's the case, then it's just going to fill this little gap right here. Not really a gap, but the big wick right there. So I'm actually fine with this. So see how price is dropping right here? I actually want price to drop, because I don't want to get caught in this trap right here. I want price to drop and then fill either half the candle, because whenever you get a big candle like this, price either fills half the candle and then bounces right back up, or it continues to drop lower and then it just reverses and continues dropping lower from there, right? So I'd rather not get caught in this trap right here. I want to see price kind of retrace at least to the halfway mark of this candle. So probably back to opening price down here. If I see the bounce back up, then I think price will continue climbing. If I don't see the bounce back up, then I think price is going to reverse and come back down lower. And it's just going to stay within this range. So check this out. Price came up, bounced directly off the range right here. Again, off the resistance, and then now it's coming back down. So I wouldn't be surprised if price comes back and fills this area here. But if price starts to climb from where it's currently at, then I'm cool with that too. So I'm cool with there's just too many scenarios here. One scenario is price will continue climbing. It'll establish a new higher high, and it'll just keep going higher and higher. The other scenario is that price will just consolidate around this area and then maybe come back down to opening price. And then at this point, price may bounce up higher, or it'll just keep dropping back down to the next level right here. So there's just too many scenarios. There's one scenario here where this happens. There's one scenario where this happens. There's one scenario where price just continues climbing. There's one scenario where price will just consolidate around here. Whenever you guys trade, you don't want to have more than two scenarios. You want price to either go up, or you want price to either go down. If you got more than that, then the trade's not worth taking. It's too risky. So let's see. Price is now just consolidating around this area. You can see that price came down to the halfway of this candle. This is perfect, because now that it's at the halfway of the candle, we'll see one of two things happen. Price is either going to come down and reverse, or it's going to continue back up and correct. So I like where it's currently at right now. It's consolidating within this area. Now we just have to wait for a direction, whether price continues back up or whether it comes back down. Doesn't really matter to me, but the volatility here is I know it's kind of choppy. So sometimes you'll get some high volatility, sometimes you get some low volatility. Right now it's a bit low. So kind of picked up right here for a little bit pre-market or pre-news, and then it died down again right here. So I'm kind of glad we're not in position, because we'd be pretty stressed out if we were stuck in a position right now and price isn't really doing anything. I'm fine with the sell signal here. You can get a sell signal, and then we'll see if this ends up if this ends up reversing on us. So do you guys remember the pattern that I showed you guys yesterday? I was talking about a pattern here where if the candle passes before, and there's no buy signal. This is the same pattern that came up yesterday. So we had a sell signal here. This candle passed it. There should have been a buy signal here, but it never came up. When price retraced right here, there could have been an entry at some point, and then it would have climbed up higher. It's something that I mentioned yesterday. If you guys want to rewatch the live session from yesterday, maybe something to look at. I'll keep looking for that pattern. If that becomes a pattern, then we can create a variation to the momentum pullback scalp. That's how I create variations. I look for the same strategy but I look for different entry points, basically an earlier entry point. So if you guys see V1, V2, V3 variation, they're all the same strategy. It's just different entry points. It's either a double body, double wick, just an opposite candle like an engulfing, or maybe there's different scenarios that can play out. All right, so we got the sell signal right here. Let me just delete this because obviously we're not looking for buys anymore if price continues to drop. But this can also be a fake out. So one of two things here can happen. Either a fake out will happen, we'll get a buy signal and price will continue climbing it back up, which I think is what's going to happen here. You can see the huge wick. Yeah, it's a huge fake out right there. See that huge wick faked out off the opening price. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a buy signal. If we can get that buy signal, we'll look for a buy. The trend is still bullish. That's why I'm looking for a buy right now. However, if the trend shifts, then I'm basically moving with the trend, guys. Momentum doesn't really matter to me unless it matches the trend. So right here, we have a bullish momentum coming. Again, this candle is really, it's too big. So you want to be careful with taking any entries here. I need price to actually push away. Or I'm hoping there's just no momentum on here. The next candle may be a momentum. Right here, this candle is a little too big. Because again, the same thing here might happen, right? You get a big candle, price retraces back down, fakes out, comes right back up. Nice. Yeah, CERN says, interesting how they play this. Yeah, exactly, CERN. It's you know, there's a lot of fake outs here. There's a lot of areas to get faked out. Like for example, this candle is big, this candle is big. Fake out right here and it came right back up. The same thing could happen here. This is a huge candle, so price may retrace down again and pull back. It's the same size too, 300 pips. It's too risky. Let's see. Oscar said high low momentum. So there's I mean, I think this is what you're looking at right here, right, Oscar? I think you might think this is a high low momentum right here because it broke and closed past the pivots. But this right here would have to be a higher high. So it'd have to be a green label like this, a higher high with the sell signal. If that was the case, then yeah, that would be a high low momentum scalp. But there was no entry right there. So I think that's kind of what Oscar saw. I can see where he could be a little confused because this here could look like a high and then a sell signal breaking, closing past momentum, or breaking, closing past pivots 1 and 2, but there's no higher high right there. So it's all good, Oscar. You're looking for higher highs and lower lows. There's a lower low right here, but there's no buy signal that broke and closed past it. So there was no high low momentum scalp there. But this looks like it could have been one if this was a higher high. So it's all good, Oscar. All right, so we have a buy signal right here. We have a bullish trend. We need price to really push away from where it's currently at. So where price is at right now, I need price to actually push above it. It's got to push, like actually push above it, and then retrace hopefully to this area, continue, or it can retrace down to this area as well. We're just waiting for this here to really push up. If it doesn't push up, it's going to have the same pattern right here, right? Big candle, retrace to the candle, big candle, retrace to the candle. Or in other words, opening price. That's basically where it pulled to. Pushed up, pulled down opening price, bounce back up. Same thing here. If this wants to retrace down again, pull down opening price and then push back up. But if that doesn't happen and price continues to push up higher, then we may have opportunity here for entry. So I'm going to keep my eye out on the chart, make sure I don't miss anything. But again, I need price to really push away from where it's currently at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Maddie says retracing the buy candle. So we're just focusing to see if this here pushes through, but it's not really pushing through. It's exactly the same pattern that happened right here. So you guys see these patterns. This is why like I emphasize the indicators, right? Like we had one of our older members, he messaged me yesterday because he started taking like another trading course, like more of a beginner's course. And he mentioned that it would have been better for him if I taught price action and structure with the strategies, because because he said that the indicators, it kind of just it forced him to like trade a certain way. And that's the whole point of the strategy, right? So I'm teaching you how to trade a certain way, because if I taught you price action and structure, then you would be so confused, because it's so subjective. If you look at price action and structure, what I see structure could be completely different from what you see. But if you're drawing a structure here based off my indicator, so if you use my high-low indicator and you see the higher high right there, you already know where the structure is. There's no guessing work here, right? So that's why I don't really teach people price action or structure, because it's unnecessary. You're learning something that you don't need to know. You just need to be focused on what I'm teaching here, because if you focus on the strategies and you listen to what we're doing here, you'll learn the patterns and the structure along the way. So you can see where structure is if you use the indicators. You can see where price action is by just listening to the strategies. I don't think it's necessary, to be honest, guys. You don't really need it to be successful trading. I feel like a lot of people try to add things because they think there's something missing, but a lot of times, I've already perfected these strategies, but you don't need extra stuff. Like, you can use extra stuff if you like, but for the most part, it's probably going to harm you more than it helps you. Like, if you want to use extra indicators, that's completely fine. I know a lot of people here who try to use extra indicators and they lose even more trying to add more stuff than what they would have if they just stuck to the game plan. So just a heads up, guys. I just wanted to make that clear for some of you guys. If you guys are wondering, knowing like basic price action and stuff like that is not really necessary. You'll pick it up along the way. Yeah, exactly. Kenny said you'll end up getting analysis paralysis. Yeah, and that's the last thing you want, because if you get analysis paralysis, it'll mess with your trade psychology. Like, your trade psychology is like the main thing that you need. Any strategy works. You just need to have proper trade psychology when applying it. Just find a strategy that's profitable. Basically, any of the strategies I apply, and then just apply it as it's supposed to be taken. If you just trust the strategy and do it, you'll be fine. Yeah, Dejan said, market is boo-boo. Yeah, Shiv said, as predicted, drop down. So this is exactly what I told you guys, right? So the pattern right here, big candle, retracement, it happened again right here, just like we predicted, right? I mentioned if price doesn't push up here, don't even bother looking for a buy, because we're not going to have opportunity there. Same thing again happened right here, right? We had a buy signal, price retraced down to here. Now one of two things will happen. Price is either going to go for a full reversal this time, or it's going to do the same thing and push right back up. In my opinion, I think price will push back up. I don't think it'll hold down. I mean, it depends. Let's see what retail sentiment's looking like right now. I mean, I don't know. Anything could happen, really. There's no for sure direction. So right now it's 64% short. It's picking up, but what I can see here is I think the market makers are turning the sellers right now. So you can see over here that what they're doing is they're trying to lure in some more sellers. So they're letting price come down a little bit, so more sellers just keep entering. Because you can see here that the sellers are entering the market. They're following that trap, so they're getting lured in. This morning it was at like 60%. It went to 62. Now it's at 64. Obviously, the retail traders are getting suckered into these sells here. So that's basically what they're doing. They're pushing price up. They give a high point, and then they let people kind of lure in. They push up again. They let people lure into the sell. Eventually, price is just going to blast right through, right? They can only lure in so much until they actually got to push price out the water, which is going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of time. So I'm looking for price to get around this area right here. We just got to be patient. It's 7:15 right now. We still have like 40 to 50 minutes until 8 o'clock. So there's no real rush. We can wait. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what's happening. But that's basically what I see happening, because it's the same pattern that just keeps repeating itself. Big candle, retrace, fake out, go back up. Fake out right here, retrace, fake out again right here, go back up. It's the same thing, right? And you can see over here, price is starting to climb up. It's it's what Sisuk mentioned, the boiling frog. So I mean, I'm just waiting for all these sellers to get stopped out. So I'm personally looking for a buy here. I don't really want to look for a sell. I mean, if I have to, I'll look for a sell, but I'm personally looking for a buy here, because I can see a lot of these people getting stopped out, at least 2%. So I could see 2% of these people, maybe 4% of the people getting stopped out today. I'm banking on them to get stopped out because I'm looking for a buy here. So I actually want these people to get stopped out. Like I want to take their money. So these people on the sell side, when it hits their stop loss, I'm ready to enter or buy, and I'm gonna take their money and I'm gonna run with it, right? I'm gonna scalp them out of the market. That's basically what we're doing. We're looking for them because we see their ticket sitting up here for their stop loss. When their stop loss gets hit, then I'm just gonna take the money and run. So that's basically what we're waiting for. You just gotta wait for the opportunity. Once you get that opportunity, and you hop in real quick, get your 100 pips, get out, and then you see the number over here drop, or it'll increase. If it increases, that's actually better. If it increases, then it's going to keep pushing up higher, and it'll probably blast right through your stop loss and give you some slippage. So, we think very contrarian here. We don't really think how everybody else thinks. I talked to a couple of professional traders the other day, and they're like, they've been watching my videos, my YouTube streams, and they're like, I've never seen anybody trade like you. Like they don't know anybody that trades on the 1 minute like me, or that can trade on the 1 minute like me, because it takes a lot of skill to trade on the 1 minute. It's not an easy time frame to trade on. But we found our niche here. So I think like whenever you guys trade, find your niche and just get really good at it. Like I got really good at the 1 minute time frame. So I'm probably like the only person you guys see who trades the 1 minute every single day live. I see people trade live, but they trade on the higher time frames, like the 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute. It's different. Like what I'm doing here can't really be mimicked. That's why I like trading on the 1 minute, because not everybody can do it. Because if you guys remember before, I used to trade on the 4 hour, and everybody would just copy what I'm doing. Like I used to call signals, and people would just copy my signals and then resell them. And that really annoyed me, because I put in the work and then people just want to copy what I'm doing. This 1 minute stuff, a lot of people can't copy it because they don't have the trade psychology I do. So they don't have the consistency or the discipline to wait for these entries like we're doing here. That's why I stick to trading this way. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said what we do here is unique and different. Can't be like everyone else. Yeah, I agree with you too, Maddie. It's exactly what it is. Let's see, question over here from, Gian said that pattern you've been noticing happened. Yeah, exactly, Gian, right here, off that buy signal. Randy's asking, hey, Sean, do you think the market's been like this for the week because long-term direction is shifting and there isn't enough volatility for the market to decide on a direction? Not exactly, Randy, because the market doesn't really decide anything, right? The market makers and the institutions decide. So if they want to push price up, they can push price up. If they want to push price down, they push price down. They're in control of the market. We're just like we're little fish in the market. So it doesn't really matter. You're right. So part of your question and responses is like partially right. So you're asking if the market's been like this because long-term direction is shifting. I don't think long-term direction has even been decided yet, right? The market makers aren't really in the market right now. So going to your next part, you're asking there isn't enough volatility, which is correct. There's not enough volatility because the market makers and institutions, they're not all in the market right now. Everybody's still on vacation. It's August 17, middle of summer. You think about it, if you're a billionaire or trillionaire or whatever, you're not going to be on the charts right now in the summer. You're going to be out in your yacht somewhere going to like the Maldives or something, right? You're not going to be here on the charts all year round. Everybody's on vacation. Like the big players in the market are on vacation right now. Obviously, they have their hedge funds and their firms that are still working, and they're creating this liquidity in the market. But the real people who are making decisions in the market are not necessarily here. That's why the volatility is so low. So the volatility doesn't really have a say in where the direction of the market. It depends on like who's controlling the market right now. Is it BlackRock, right? BlackRock is one of the biggest hedge funds. I saw this video yesterday. It talked about basically who's controlling the market. There's like State Street Bank, there's BlackRock, there's Citadel. There's all these companies here who are like, or Citadel's under BlackRock, that they control the market. So whatever they want to do with it, they can push it. We don't have a control of anything here, guys. Like you guys want. Sometimes a lot of people like to think that retail traders have control of the market. They might have control of individual stocks like GameStop, AMC, something like that. But the Dow, there's no way a retail trader can control the Dow, right? It's impossible. Like it's just crazy. Like the market's so big for the Dow, because you think about, like, so if you look at the Dow index, like maybe a retail trader can't control any of these stocks here. It's impossible. Like these stocks, if you think about it, one stock of like Amgen is 226, right? One stock of Amex is 162. You think about how many retail traders can really control, this whole entire index. This index is a compilation of the highest stocks in the market. So whatever retail traders do in the market doesn't really make a big difference. That's why I look at retail sentiment here, because they're not necessarily pushing market, right? You can see there's like the past couple of weeks, it was like 70%, almost 80%, but price it kept climbing higher and higher because it doesn't matter what we're doing. The market's still going to do what it wants to do. So yeah, short answer to your question is not necessarily for direction, not really waiting. It's just for whoever wants to control the market to push in that direction. So right now the market's gonna be slow. We're in the summer conditions. It's like this every year. Nothing changes. The only time it was different was during COVID and post-COVID because people couldn't go on vacation, right? They were still around. So that's the only reason why it was a little different around that time. Anyways, guys, price is pushing up right here. We'll see where this ends up going. So I need price to push up a little bit higher. It's not really strong enough for me to want to take an entry yet. So I need price to actually push up a little bit higher. And then I'm hoping we can get. So this is going to be risky. If price pushes up here and retraces to this point, it's going to be a little risky, but I think it may still work. However, I prefer it to be a little bit higher around this area here. Okay, where it's currently at, this is not going to be useful to us. We need the green candle to close a little bit higher on this area at least. Within this little vicinity right here. Yeah, so if there's anything else over here. Yeah, Maddie said he wants a new signal. I agree. Maria suggests for fun prices giving 6 liquidity pushes at the same area. Nice. So Maria over here actually drew up liquidity on the lower levels, which is completely fine. You guys can do that too. Our original way of applying liquidity, you know, if you guys have traded this before, is that, or actually what Maria did here, she just reused the liquidity area. So she just reused that same line. And she said that it hit pretty much 6 times every time it crossed above it. So like one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, about 6 right here all together. So nice work right there, Maria. I mean, it's a good observation to see. That's not something I would personally take, but you know, if you find a pattern there and you can take something, like if you know market is ranging really hard like this, then you can use it and you know, you can make money off it. So let's see. Kenny's asking, is 34,953 a strong level of liquidity? Let me check real quick. 34,953. I actually don't see a level of liquidity there. Okay. Well, where'd you get that level of liquidity from? There's a level right here, but this was I don't mark anything after market open. I mean, if you wanted to, you could, but you have to go on the higher levels. So looking over here, I don't really see anything on the. Yeah, I don't see anything on the 1 hour. I would go for 1 hour and above if you're going to do anything after market open. Yeah, this is on the 1 minute time frame, Kenny. So this is going to be a weak level. So let's see. Kenny's question was, is it a strong level? It's definitely a weak level because it's on the 1 minute time frame. So in order for it to be a high level liquidity or a strong level, it'd have to be above the 1 hour. So if you want to go and look for something strong, go to the 1 hour. If something establishes after the market is open, that's fine. You can mark up a new level. But for me, I just like marking up the ones pre-market because those levels have already been established. So anything below an hour is going to be low or weak, and then anything above 1 hour is going to be strong. Yep, no problem, Kenny. No problem at all. So price still has not pushed up, man. This market sucks. So today has been pretty trash for the most part. I mean, I'm glad a lot of you guys locked in profit off the liquidity push, but for the most part, it's not really too much going on here. It's just a lot of consolidation. Here's a clean chart, as you guys can see. There's not really too much going on here. Price comes up and it just fakes out. It hasn't been able to get past this structure here, or it faked out right here. It broke past it right here, and then it just came right back down. So unfortunately, there's still no opportunity here. There's no new momentum. Like what Maddie said, he's waiting for a new momentum. If we get a better momentum, great. If not, then we just have to wait for the push to the upside. But I would prefer a new momentum too, Maddie. I'd rather have a sell signal come up than a new buy signal, because I don't like basing it off of big candle. For the next momentum, I want it to be a regular candle. I don't want something huge like this. because this kind of throws me off. Whenever you get a big candle like that, it's like, man, it's going to retrace back like it did here twice already, twice in a row. So, we'll see what happens next. Let's see. Patricia said, Sean, I'm out. Do not like the market movement right now. Too overextended. Yeah, definitely, Patricia. We'll see you back here tomorrow. So Patricia's done for the day. Completely understandable. Maddie over here. Maddie said sellers at 64% short, still banking on the short stop hunt. Yeah, same to you, Maddie. All right, so we're just gonna wait. There's not really too much to, sentiment's up now, Maddie. It's now at 65. So I think this will definitely make a climb. It might not happen right now, but eventually it's gonna make a climb. There's too many people on the short side now. So they're luring in a lot of these sellers. As you guys can see, a lot of these sellers are they're just piling up. So if that's the case, then I definitely think price is gonna push up. So just wait for our time, guys. Wait for our time to shine. Our time to shine is gonna happen soon. Because there's a lot of sellers now. So the only way for the market makers and institutions to make money is to stop them out, right? They're going to take free liquidity, basically. They're going to stop them out, and then when they stop them out, price is going to spike up. So here's the logic behind what I'm showing you guys, right? So like what happens here is if there's a bunch of people who are selling, right? Say there's a bunch of people who are selling, their stop losses are going to be sitting above these highs right here, right? So you're going to have a lot of stop losses just waiting right here. So when they push price up there, what happens is they get free liquidity. So they just need to push price to this area right here. And then once it stops everybody out, it has a free push to the upside, right? Because all those sellers get stopped out. It goes on the stop line. So realistically here, what the market makers are doing is they're just luring in all these sellers. At 65% shorts, there's a lot of stop losses right here. They just need to, instead of them pushing price like all the way up here, they just got to push price right here. And then once they push price to this point or around this area, then it just gets automatically pushed up. So sometimes what you guys will see is a stop loss hunt where price will push up and then it'll stop a little bit, right? That's because the market makers didn't have enough power to stop everybody out. So they just get a little push right there. It retraces down a little bit. And then you see the bigger push. And then it starts to really stride, right? That's where the stop loss hunt happens up here. So they push up a little bit. They're like, oh crap, we haven't stopped everybody out. So they're like, okay, we need to push it up higher. They push up one more push. And then this is where it just blasts right through because it actually picks up all of their stop losses. So the thing is, the market it's all manipulation, guys. Like the thing is, if you understand how to read this manipulation, you can make a lot of money from it like we do every day. But a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't even want to believe that there's manipulation, which is crazy to me because, come on, man, like market's it's not run by people. It's run by these companies. Like I've been trading long enough to understand that and to really think about it and understand that we're like ants in this market. We don't have any real justification, at least not for the futures market, maybe for some small stocks, because if you're going to buy AMC for like $1, yeah, you can get like 1 million people to buy like 1 million stocks of AMC. And yeah, of course it's going to skyrocket. But for the Dow, it's a totally different ballgame. So if you're trading any big futures like gold, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, you don't really have control of the market. Market's going to do what it wants to do. And we're going to be playing with what we can see here. So yeah, it's crazy because sometimes, if you guys have been part of the group for a while, you guys have seen people who come in the group and they argue with me that the market is not controlled by companies and stuff, or that it's not manipulated. But it's pretty clear if you look at news price. So if you ever go to news price and you see how price spikes around, it's a clear, obvious manipulation. But some people they just don't want to believe it. I think the biggest thing that points out manipulation is retail sentiment. I think this is the biggest thing. If you watch any of my live sessions and you see sentiments like 80% short or like 80% long, and price goes the opposite way, like that, how does that make any sense? Like for price to do opposite of everybody else? Obviously, somebody's going against everybody. Yeah, exactly. Randy said it's all manipulation, and yet they still get scared that Wall Street bets can move stocks. Yeah, but stocks are different. So that's the thing. The stocks are different. Because in order for you to move a stock, you need it like one person, like one company can maybe move a stock. Like the only people that got like, I think there was one hedge fund that got really screwed, right? Based off GameStop and AMC. There's only one hedge fund because nobody else wanted to help him. If say if like all the hedge funds were like, okay, we're going to back you up and we're all just going to push price up for this one stock. Nobody decided to help that hedge fund out. That's why they got stopped. They got pretty much wiped out. The thing that you guys have to understand too is that those hedge funds are not, they're just pawns in the market too. They're just like us. You can't compare like a small family office compared to like BlackRock. It's completely different. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand either. There wasn't really that many people that got hurt by Wall Street bets. It was just like one hedge fund that got screwed because they tried to go against them, but nobody else backed them up. Let's see. Yeah, Rashida said her money's on the buy. Yeah. Or I was hoping for the buy, but I mean, we'll see if it continues to hold here. I personally don't think I'll look for a sell here, guys. The sentiment's going up too high. And I think eventually price will push up. So if we get a sell entry here, I'm probably going to hold off on it. Again, okay, so this is perfect. So see how this candle right here was big? We had a big sell signal. And you guys saw how we have all these big buy ones. So we had these big buy ones and price retrace, right? We had a big buy one, price retrace. Now we got a big sell. What do you think is going to happen here? Price is now going to retrace the other way, right? So this is going to work in our favor now because we have a big sell signal here. It's not huge, okay? It's not that big. It's 200 pips. Volatility is actually pretty low. ATR is currently at 17. But if this is a case right here, then, and we get the reversal the other way, then it's going to be beneficial to us. Otherwise, you know, there might be opportunity here for an actual sell. Price continues to climb its way back down. But I mean, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens here because the trend still hasn't shifted. I know the trend meter is red, but I'm looking for the pivots here to shift. This is going to be the real indicator if price is going to actually shift or not. So I need this red pivot here to be above all the other pivots in order for me to even think about taking a sell. I personally don't want to take a sell, but that's what we'd be looking for. 7:33 right now, so we still have about 27 minutes, guys. We got a lot of time. Market's not done yet. The volatility is kind of slowing down a bit, but the market is still not done yet. This is kind of what happened yesterday. We had a lot of slow movement, and then we had the entry at the very end. So I'm just going to sit tight, wait for something here to play out, but there's just nothing for us here. Either price shifts to the downside and we get a downward trend, or you know, price pushes up and we have a bullish push. It's just a matter of time until we can confirm that. But again, not looking to force anything here. We got, see Kenny there in 1,000. We got Shiv over here. Shiv said maybe risky, but 3 times it's come around the liquidity area. Nice. So Shiv actually did what you were doing, Maria. So Maria over here actually she was marking up the that liquidity that she saw, and Shiv over here actually took those trades that you marked up, Maria. So when price kept coming around that liquidity area right there, the same level of liquidity, Shiv re-entered the trade and he locked in some more profit. So Shiv here is actually up 1,423 for the day, all wins. So nice work right there, Shiv. You're almost on your way, man. You're almost past your challenge or combine or whatever it's called. You're on your way there. We have Rashida over here. Nice work, Rashida. Total profit of 1,080 for the day, all wins. So nice work right there. It looks like you caught a couple pushes to the upside, which is nice. You caught that bounce back up. That bounce back up is probably going to happen again over here. Kevin's asking if there's a V1 setting up. So no V1 here. The low was this previous candle. There's no low at that point. This is just an in-between. It would be a nice V1 though, right? If it came up. There's actually some. I was trying to see if there's any other. So there was actually a V3 right here, or a V1. So there's a V1 that happened earlier right here. And you can see how far it pushed up. This happened at 655. It was a double wick rejection with a lower low. pending buy signal, probably shot all the way up from this point, like 500 pips. So that's kind of what you want to look for too. This is kind of what Kevin's looking for. He's looking for this nice V1 to set up over here and then catch that reversal back up. I wouldn't catch it, but that'd be a good confluence. If you see something like that line up, then price is probably going to shift all the way back up. So you can see this candle's coming back down. It's establishing a new low right here. So that could be the case. If V1 might be setting up right now or after the next candle, Kevin. We'll keep looking at it. Let's see if there's any more profits here. So I think that's about it for the most part with regard to profits there. Yeah, we'll have to see. Talking about the Wall Street Bets thing, there's a movie coming out. I don't know if anybody heard of it or saw it, but I went to the movies the other day and I saw a preview of there's an AMC movie coming out. It's pretty interesting. I definitely want to see it. I'm for sure going to see it. It's a movie it's a documentary / movie about AMC. It's like, yeah, exactly. Sisu said, yeah, the dude lives a couple of minutes away from. Yeah, that movie is actually pretty interesting. I didn't know it was coming out until I saw it in the movies preview, but it's going to be a movie about the AMC stock rise. Like basically some guy who predicted it, and he's always like, he was just a degenerate trader, and then he gets like, it's a cool movie. So when it comes out, I'll let you guys know. I'm definitely going to see the movie for sure. Anything that has to do with trading, like I enjoy it. Like if there's any movies about trading, if you guys ever seen The Big Short, The Big Short is actually a really good movie too. If you guys haven't seen it, it's about what's his name, Michael Burry, I think. There's so many like trading movies out there. If you guys haven't seen it, and they're all pretty good because it's interesting because you guys kind of relate to them, and it kind of opens up your mind to think, okay, there's different ways of trading out there, like fundamentals, macros, macroeconomics. There's so many different things out there. All right, so we have there's possibly a V3 right here. Okay, I'm not going to take the trade, but this is a V3 variation. There's a low with a red candle. There's an opposite green candle right next to it. So this could be a possible V3. Let's see, CJ. I think it's called Dumb Money. Let me check real quick. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, so if you guys want to see it, it's called Dumb Money. So just look at Dumb Money. It's by Sony Pictures. It has like it's like a comedy, but it's like it goes over the GameStop stock. So if you guys want to look it up, it's called Dumb Money. It comes out on September 22nd. I'm definitely gonna see this movie. It's about the stock pump and stuff. It's not a real documentary, but it basically just follows, what happened with the GameStop stock and stuff. All right, so let's see what else we've got over here. All right, so we have the pivots over here starting to shift a little bit. It's for a sell though, so I don't know, it's kind of risky in my opinion. I don't know if I want to take it. There's also a V1 variation over here, so it's not exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'll look for here is I'll look for price to drop a little lower, and then I'll look for the continuation like somewhere down here, or even up here if that may be the case. But I need price to drop a little bit lower because we're gonna need some direction here. So either price is going to reverse from where it's currently at, or it's going to continue dropping. And we may have opportunity here for a sell. Maybe, just not for sure, but maybe. So we'll see. We got a buy signal over here. The pivots have shifted. So if the pivots here have shifted, I need price to come down below this area right here. In order for us to have entry, it needs to come down pretty low. So like down here. If we get a buy signal, then, you know, price can shift back up. But from where price is currently at right here, if price does drop lower, we can possibly look for a sell here. The pivots have shifted. You can see the red pivots above all the other pivots. The trend meter down below is red. But now we need a push in a direction. So we need price to push in a direction below. It has to be below where it's currently at. So it can be anywhere around here. If we get this buy signal, then, you know, price might just shift all the way back up. So we'll see. 7:41 right now. So we still have 19 minutes, guys. 19 minutes till 8. Again, 8 o'clock is my cutoff, guys. If I don't have an entry by 8 o'clock, then I'm wrapping it up. I'm not going to force any trades here. Yeah, so that V3 right there hit, Kevin, not sure if you took it, but it's the V3 I mentioned earlier. We had a low over here at the red candle, followed by a green candle is engulfing, V3 variation right there. And obviously full TP. So it played out. There's also a high level momentum here that Randy just mentioned too. Or risky entry, but yeah, there's a high level momentum right there. I don't know if anybody's looking to take it. I'm not going to take it. I don't like the way that there's just no direction right now, no confirmation of like where price is actually going to go, whether it's going to come back down or whether it's going to push back up. So I'm not going to take the position, but there is a high level momentum that's currently running right now. The ATR is kind of low too, so it's probably going to hit, but it's just a little too low for me to want to take anything right now. So there goes a high level momentum that's currently running in profit. Yeah, full TP right there. So that was a high level momentum right there. Nice. Kevin caught it. So Kevin caught that there. And it looks like price might be shifting back up. I should have taken it. I was like tempted to take it, but I looked at the ATR and I was like, it's kind of low. So I was kind of a little worried. But yeah, the confluence was good. So you guys can see the confluence right here. So I forgot who asked me this. Somebody asked me this. I think you asked this yesterday, right, Kenny? So Kenny was talking about like, you know, whether like I ever use a confluence. I don't typically use a confluence very much, but that confluence did help out here. There was a V3 variation. It was a low with the red candle, followed by a green candle. It was bigger than this candle, so it was pretty much engulfing. So that's not even a strategy. It's an engulfing candle on top of that. And then price pushed up, provided a high-low momentum scalp. So you could have used this as a confluence and then it would have shot right through. So yeah, there goes an example of using multiple strategies as a confluence. There's also a counter confluence though, Kenny. So you can see over here that price was below the pivots and the trend meter was red. So that would kind of like, it would balance out the confluence. So like you'd have a good confluence here and then you have a bad confluence. You're like, okay, which one do I take, you know? So yeah, it's kind of iffy when you're using confluences because then you may get analysis paralysis in a situation like that. Yeah, they've been hitting a lot. Oscar said he understands it now. Yeah, no, definitely, Oscar. That's an actual entry. So now you know what it looks like. Nikki caught it. CJ caught it. Kevin caught it. Yeah, definitely. Dejan said, I don't know which one Dejan said. Dejan said, I'm not near my PC, so I can't tell if that trade hit my TP or not. All right, the other Kenny's done for the day. Oscar is asking, when fall market is here, will the market be drastically different from summer? I've only traded summer. So it's going to be a little different, Oscar. It's not going to be it's going to be different, but in a good way. So you're going to see a lot more volatility. Like you can see over here, how price is going sideways a lot. You're not going to see a lot of this during the fall. During the fall, you're going to see a lot of directional movement. So you'll see a lot of like this type of movement and it'll happen for like an hour. So you're going to get some movement between like 6:30 to 7:30, and then the market starts to slow down around 8 o'clock because that's when a lot of people go to lunch. You know, we're basing it off New York time. I'm not sure where you're located, Oscar, but I'm in California, so we're 3 hours different. So like you think about it, 8 o'clock hits 9, 10, 11, that's 11 o'clock in New York. So people are already getting ready for lunch. They're getting set up. They're kind of done with the trading for the day. They're ready to take a break. So they've already been trading for 3 hours, basically. and they're going to lunch, right? So that's why 8 o'clock market starts to die down a little bit. But in the fall, it'll be pretty consistent. Like 6:30, it'll be like 5:30 up until 8 o'clock. Market will be volatile, and then it starts to die down, and then it picks back up once people are back from lunch, like around 10 o'clock my time. And it'll be beneficial for us because a lot of these trades that we're taking here, obviously it's going to be moving in our direction because our trades here are really just moving. We're following direction, and then we're looking for retracement and continuation. So you're going to have a lot more opportunities for entry once fall comes around. Nice. CJ said he missed the V3, but he caught the high level momentum. Solid. Yeah, Kevin mentioned, yeah, you can start to see what you're hoping for. Yeah, exactly right, Kevin. All right, so we have a pending sell signal right here. We may have opportunity for a sell. So again, right here, guys, we can still have opportunity here for a sell. I don't know if anybody wants to take it, that's fine. If not, then that's fine too. You don't need to take it. Yeah, I think it's a little risky, but I think price may drop a little more to lure in some more sellers. So what might happen here is if we're looking for a sell at this point, I need price to push down, retrace, and continue. Preferably I'd want price to drop down to this level down here and retrace right there. But if it drops to this point right here, then that's completely fine. I just need price to actually come a little bit lower. So the drop needs to happen right here, like down around this area, and then it can retrace to either this level or this level down here. But again, we just need to have better confirmation before we can start looking for entry here. All right, ATR is currently at 16 right now. Volatility is dying down quite a bit. It's still above 15, so there's still opportunity here for an entry if we do get that opportunity. But right now, again, we're just waiting for some confirmation here. All right, price is too close. We need to drop down a little more from where it's currently at. All right, we got some profits over here from Maddie. Maddie's done for the day, locked in a total profit of 505. Nice work, Maddie. So solid profits right there on Maddie's side. Great work. Has his trading plan right here. Perfect, Maddie. That's what you need, guys. If you guys need that consistency, is try to drop your trading plan, explain, why you took every entry, and really understand what you guys are doing. So great work right there, Maddie. We have Natasha over here, total profit of 1416 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Natasha. Great work on your personal account. Other than that, we got Andreas over here, total profit of 1030 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. Looks like you took the high level momentum scalp. So full TP right there with the green strip. Took a trade at 741. Yeah, it looks like you took the high level momentum scalp earlier. So great work right there, Andreas. And then we have Randy over here. It looks like he took the same trade. High level momentum scalp, total profit of 580 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Randy. All right, so we got nothing right now. We got 10 minutes till 8. Price hasn't really dropped at all, so there's no opportunity for entry just yet. Price is starting to climb back up. Let's see if we maybe get an entry here at the last 5 minutes or so like we did yesterday. So we'll see. I'll hang around for a bit, guys. I'm not going to cut out early today. I'll keep watching for any possible entries at this point. Yeah, we'll see if there's anything here. All right, so price is starting to climb up. We got a buy signal right there. We'll see if this ends up holding. I mean, if not, then there's just not really much movement, guys. I mean, you guys can see over here. So here's the zones that I drew over here. It's doing the same thing it's been doing all session. So I mentioned over here a lot of fake outs from the top, fake outs from the bottom, fake outs from the top, fake outs from the bottom. And look where price keeps pulling back to. Opening price. Opening price is a magnet, right? Price will fake out, come back to opening price, fake out, back to opening price, fake out, back to opening price, etc. Just back and forth all throughout the day. It's just kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Got to deal with it. Here's double body right here, possibly a V1 variation for a sell, but there's no bias for a sell right now, so it's not really going to be a V1. Volatility is kind of low. It's down to 15 right now. All right, so we're getting some push right here. So if this becomes the case, then we might be able to, I don't know, we'll see if this climbs back up. We're still aiming for this area up here. So if we're looking for a buy, like I mentioned before, guys, a lot of this, and you look at these people getting stopped out right here as a big candle. So I think if this continues to climb, we might be able to take a buy here because a lot of the stop losses are still sitting above this area over here. Basically above this area, a little higher. And if it just keeps climbing higher, it's just going to be a nice push towards the end of the session, or it pushes up and it'll blast right through. So I'm going to keep watching for this here. I mean, this is more beneficial. I prefer to take a buy here versus a sell, especially with the sentiment so high and such a big move from open. So let's see. Sentiment's back at 64. So it looks like a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but 1% of the retail traders pulled out of their sells. They probably got back to break even and they just pulled out. But here he goes, price climbs up. I think the market makers are starting to understand that there's no more retail traders to really sucker into this sell. So it looks like they might be ready to just swipe everybody out right now, which I'm all for. Go ahead and stop everybody out. I've been waiting for these stop outs all day. So we'll see what happens here. I'm hoping we get some more volatility and it just keeps pushing up. We have about 8 minutes till 8. But this is what we've been waiting for. We're looking for all these people to get stopped out. I think now the market makers have understood that there's no more retail traders to really sucker in. So hopefully they just push this up pretty heavy and we get an opportunity for entry and we can just hop into this. So yeah, okay, this is starting to shift really fast. You can see over here, the pivots are starting to shift pretty quickly. So what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for the retracement. If it retraces to this point, I'll take entry right here at the 20 mark. I know I typically wait for a little bit, but I think this might be point of entry for us if we do get a retracement. So we need that retracement first. I'm not just going to hop into the trade right away. If we get a red candle right here, I'm going to enter at the 20 mark. Because the pivots over here are already shifting. Trend meter's already back to green. The only thing that we might want to be careful for is possible overextension. So let's see if this candle here closes red. Entry's gonna be at the 20 if it does. Nope. Or the entry's still gonna be at the 20 if it does here. So retraces down a little bit. Entry's still gonna be at the 20 here. If it keeps pushing up, then entry's gonna be a bit higher. Right here was a momentum, not really a momentum, a high-low scalp actually. Price broke and closed past this high right here. All right, let's see what happens here. Get about 20 seconds. The candle has to close above that line though, so just keep that in mind, guys. It's got to close above the line. If it doesn't, then we just got to wait. Let's see, we got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, I got a pending order right there, just waiting.
Order the field.
Let's see what happens. I got to manually onto this here. It was a little overextended, so it's a little bit of a risky trade. I'm in the position on my top step. Wasn't able to get in it on my other accounts. I'm just holding it on my top step right now. You see if I get in on the other ones. If it swings back up, put a buy stop there. Volatility is all right. It's not great, but it's all right. It's at 16 right now. All right. Watching. Let's see if it's at a price point that's like, oh, it's at news. So I was looking at that line right there. That pink line's a news price. So price kind of bounce around that area. And I hate when you get into a trade and the volatility just gets flat. It's the worst. Because typically I'm used to just getting in and out super quickly within the first couple seconds or so. 6:56 right now. We still got 4 minutes till 8. If it gets too close to 8, or if we hold on to this position for too long, I might just pull out early. I don't really like how price moves closer to 8 o'clock. See. I was gonna measure to see how far the push up was right here. See, I can see how far it pushed up from. It's a little overextended. It was at 55. All right, if I get a sell signal here, I got to pull out of it for a small loss, but it's all good. Hoping we don't, though. I hope it just keeps pushing back up. It's currently at the session, so it's at the Asia sessions right there, the purple line. This volatility is super flat. Low right now. 5 seconds left on this candle. I'm just looking for that momentum because if it closes, all right, I gotta get out of it, guys. So I had to pull out for a small loss right there. Unfortunately, it wasn't a full loss, small loss right there, locked at about 13 points. So I got to follow my game plan. I could have held on to it, probably gonna swing back up, but I got to stick to the game plan. So pretty much got to pull out of that right there. And unfortunately, that's it for the day, guys. So we locked out of this trade for a small loss. It wasn't really that bad. It was only 13 points. So not as bad as, as we typically would have if we held on to it. The reason why I pulled out early was because of the sell signal right here. So following the game plan here, I probably could have held on to it. And it's probably going to swing back up. But some of you guys pulled out early. So I saw Gian over here pulled out early, probably pulled out some profit there. This right here, whenever you get an opposite momentum signal, you just got to pull out. Typical conditions for today, unfortunately, it didn't really push up like we wanted to. There was opportunity to pull out for profit. I was like halfway at TP right here, and then price just ended up pulling down. So gonna count this as a loss, of course. And that's pretty much it for the day, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, I got to eat that loss, and I just got to own up to it and bounce back tomorrow. So today was a tricky day, though. I was really hoping it was going to push up higher, but it never held. So it's all good. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. I'm gonna go put the loss up over here real quick. Momentum pullback scalp due to the opposite momentum signal. Appearance for a loss of 130 pips. So it wasn't that bad. Now that I think of it, we just need one trade and we'll make it right back. So it's not really that bad. So we got that right there. I'm going to post up my loss. I want to be transparent with you guys, of course. So thankfully it wasn't a full loss. If it was a full loss, it would maybe set me back a little bit, but not too horrible. It's only sent me back a little bit, actually. So I'm down 975. Let me see what I'm looking at for the week so far. Yeah, so about the same. Just lost a little bit for today. Let me see if there's anything else here that I need to cover. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Yeah, Randy said weird week, to be honest. We haven't had a single smooth day, and tomorrow's a Friday. Yeah, exactly. This whole week's been kind of off. I mean, I'm still in profit for the week so far. So here I actually took the trade on my MT4 when price swung back up, and then I pulled out for a small loss there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a screenshot of this too. I just want to be transparent with you guys because I feel like a lot of people are not transparent with like their traders. And with me, I want to show you guys that losses are okay. And as long as you do things properly, you'll still be in profit for the week. So here are my profits on my I'll take a better screenshot of that so that you guys can see. I did eat a loss on my accounts, which it happens. But I want to show you guys that like as long as you're doing good for the week overall, you could you can bounce back from it. The screenshot looks better on my phone. This is just easier than me having to take individual screenshots. So let me just delete this real quick. All right. So here's my FTMO accounts. You can see I locked in. I lost 1,680 on my first account, 1,630 on my second, and then for my MFFs, of course, they gave me less profits and bigger losses as always. So you can see for the week, I'm still in profit. So I'm in profit about like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20. I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm still in profit about 13,000 for the week so far. That one loss sent me back a little bit, but you can see for the week, I'm still up very heavily. One loss over here or 2 losses on my top step locked in, I lost 975. The loss would have been worse if I held on to it for the full loss. So it'd have been like about like 2,000 or 1,250. So luckily I was able to pull out, got some slippage there, had to pay some fees in commissions, but it's all good. I'm still in profit overall for the week so far. So it's okay. I want to show you guys that you guys can eat a loss like this as long as you're smart about it and you pull your loss when you're supposed to. You'll still be fine. Like you'll survive the rest of the week. So I just need one win tomorrow, and then I'll bring my profits back, and I'll basically recover that loss from today. So just one trade, I'll be back. But other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Kenny said, done for the week, won't be trading until Wednesday. Family coming in town. Wish you all the best. Definitely, Kenny. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Yeah, enjoy your time with your family. I know it's been a while since you're not around hometown anymore. So, all right, Kenny, we'll see you back here on Wednesday. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. So there goes my loss for the day. Unfortunately, it happens. Post this up over here. The good thing is that it was a partial loss, because if it was a bigger loss, I think would have kind of messed me up a little bit. Here's Kevin over here. Kevin took a small loss as well. 1 win and 1 loss, total net profit of negative 212. So not too bad right there, Kevin. You're able to balance it out a little bit. We got Nelly over here. Nelly took a trade. It looks like he actually pulled out early. So Nelly here took the same trade we took. He pulled out early before it swung down. Total profit of 679 right there. Great work, Nelly. On that right there. We got Dijon over here. Dijon took a loss on that trade too. It happens. He's at negative 243, which is not too bad because he's been doing pretty solid past couple of days, right? So the other day he was at 429, day before that 252. So small setback, but you'll bounce back from it. And then we got Gian over here. He pulled out early. Luckily, Gian over here pulled out early from that trade. So we locked in 1,060 on the first trade. And then on the next trade over here, Gian locked in a total profit of 1,000 or total profit of 1,230. You can see on the second trade over here, he pulled out pretty quickly. So smart move there, Gio. I was kind of thinking about pulling out too, but I don't want to bitch out of the trade. So I was like, I'm going to hold on to it. And unfortunately, I ate a loss, but it happens. Vincent over here as well, currently down at 500. So small loss, little bounce back tomorrow with your wins. So, all right, guys, I think that's about it. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Randy said last week you mentioned that it's usually a good week right after bad NFP week. Does this mean next week will be good? There's always like, so typically if you like follow the patterns of like how market moves, if NFP week is, I don't think NFP week was necessarily bad. It was more so just flat, right? It was kind of like a back and forth movement. So what I mean by NFP being bad is that like, it's like you lose a lot of trades during NFP. We lost a couple trades. So it was like kind of like, it was more of a choppy move. It was like more of a flat week for us. This week is kind of, I don't think this week is really that bad either. We haven't really had, I'm still in profit for the week. So this week is still kind of considered a good week for us. We had one loss today, but that's just one loss for the entire week. So I don't know how your week's been going, Randy, but my week's still pretty good. I mean, I'm in profit about like 13,000 still for the week so far for Thursday. I mean, I think today's a pretty phenomenal week, actually. I did really good on Monday, did good Tuesday, yesterday. Today's the only day I had a loss. So I think overall, you know, the week is solid. CSUK here just posted his profits too. So today's the week that CSUK had a loss too. CSUK is up 150 for the day. He had one loss and then one win. And then his other account over here, he's up 190. But you know, CSUK's usually up like 3,000 per account. So I think today is just a bad day. I don't think this is a bad week in general. I think it's more so just it's just a bad week. Oh, nice. Yeah. So Randy over here pulled out as well. It's all good. So Randy over here too. Luckily he took the trade early right here. So he's only down negative 85. So I think you're having a decent week, Randy. You're not doing that bad. So I don't think this is necessarily a bad week. I think today is just it's a regular week, but it's not a good week. It's not a flat, but it's not a good week. And it's also not a bad week. It's just kind of a regular week for us here. So, I mean, you did solid there. Not too bad. And then we got Kenny over here. Kenny had 3 wins and 1 loss for today. So Kenny over here locked in a total profit of 1,430. So nice work right there, Kenny. Yeah, so I think everybody here is pretty solid. I mean, it's not horrible. Just one small trade for today. But other than that, all right, so I think that's it for the day, guys. CJ is asking if there's a mentoring session today. So we can have a mentoring session today. I'll put a poll in the chat, guys. If you guys want it today, we can do it today. If you want it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. Up to you guys. I'll put a poll in the chat right now, and then you guys can vote. So if you guys have, I'm gonna do it right now, actually, before I get off. When to host this week's mentoring session. Today, August 17 at 2 p.m. or tomorrow. All right, guys, so we'll pin that right there. You guys vote on that there. And then let me post it in the other group as well. Yeah, so if you guys want to have a mentoring session, just vote there, and then we'll see what works best for everybody. And then I can do it either today or tomorrow. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, if we have a mentoring session today, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Otherwise, if not, I will see you guys here tomorrow.